From the moment her words landed, I froze, like someone had nailed me to the floor. Her laughter cut through the kitchen, sharp, mocking, each note like a slap I couldn't dodge. Emma, my wife of 8 years, sat across the table smirking, her eyes cold, detached. No regret. No shame. "Jason," she said slowly, as if I were a child too naive to understand. "It was just one night with someone else. You'll get over it." Those words hurt more than the confession itself. My chest tightened, my fingers pressed into the wooden edge of the table as they shook. One night. She spoke as though our vows, our trust, the life we were building could be tossed aside like some old sweater. The truth hadn't come out of nowhere. For months, I had felt it slipping. Not in obvious ways. Emma still kissed me before work, still made her Friday pasta, still curled against me on movie nights. But there was something hollow beneath it all, a gap routine couldn't cover. Her phone, once carelessly left around, now clung to her hand. She worked late more often. When I touched her, she didn't recoil, but she didn't lean in either. I told myself it was stress. Every marriage ebbs and flows, right? Then came last Friday. She was showering when her phone buzzed. I'd promised never to invade her privacy, but my hand moved before my mind could stop it. The screen lit. "Last night was unforgettable. Can't stop thinking about you." The steam wrapped around me as my heart pounded like it might burst. She walked out in a towel and caught me staring. "What?" she asked, casual. I held up the phone. For a flicker of a second her face shifted, not to guilt, but annoyance, like I'd interrupted her thoughts. That moment dragged us here, the kitchen table, her mocking laugh. I didn't shout. I waited for a denial, a desperate explanation, a plea. Instead, she leaned back, arms crossed, and laughed again. "One night, Jason," she repeated, like it was nothing. It didn't mean anything. We'd fought. I drank too much. He was just there. You know how it is. But I didn't know. I had never turned to another person when we argued. She rolled her eyes. "You're blowing this way out of proportion." Her words clawed through me. Was I supposed to shrink down, act like my heart hadn't been shattered? That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her with him, a faceless blur, but vivid enough to poison every memory. Our wedding, her whispered vows, her tears. Promises of forever now stamped with an expiration date. By dawn I sat on the couch, staring at the walls we'd painted together, the photos of holidays, trips, our whole life stitched into frames. And for the first time, I asked myself, can love survive betrayal? The next evening I asked her again, calmer, almost begging, "Why, Emma? Why him? Why that night?" She sighed, voice sharp with impatience. "Do we really have to do this again? I told you, it didn't mean anything." My voice cracked. "But it means something to me. It means everything to me." She looked softer then, but distant still. "Jason, you're a good man. Always have been. But you're too serious sometimes, too in your head. I just wanted something different. Just once." The words stung like acid. I felt like a book she had grown tired of, setting me aside for a story that seemed more exciting. The more I pushed, the clearer it became, she wasn't sorry. There were no tears, no real apologies, no fight for us. Just shrugs, like my pain was a hassle. That cut deeper than the affair itself. Because betrayal wasn't just what she did, it was how easily she dismissed my breaking heart. Days blurred into weeks, heavier and heavier. I caught myself staring at her when she thought I wasn't watching, searching for guilt, for love, anything. But Emma carried on like nothing had happened. Work, friends, scrolling her phone while I sat silent. Sometimes she hummed while cooking, and it twisted my insides. How could she be fine when I was unraveling? One night I asked, quietly, "Do you even want to stay married to me?" She froze, spatula in hand, then shrugged. "Of course. Why wouldn't I?" "Because you broke us," I wanted to scream. "Because I can't look at you without seeing him." But I said nothing. 3 weeks later came the breaking point. We were out with friends, laughing, drinking, almost normal. For a second, I let myself believe we were okay. On the way home, she laughed that same sharp laugh and said, "See? I told you everything would go back to normal. You're already over it." That was the moment I knew I wasn't getting over it. I was drowning, and she had no intention of saving me. That night, I packed a bag. She leaned against the doorway, arms folded. "Really, Jason? Leaving over one night?" My hands were steady as I zipped the suitcase. "No, Emma. I'm leaving because you laughed. Because you made my pain a joke. Because you gambled my love for one night of fun." She scoffed. "You'll regret this." Maybe I would. Maybe not. But in that moment, I finally breathed as I stepped out the door. The weeks after were chaos, splitting up the life we'd built, signing papers, friends choosing sides. Loneliness pressed down hard some nights. But slowly, I realized, being lonely is better than being with someone who mocks your pain. Pain lingers, trust takes years to rebuild, but dignity? Dignity you can cling to. Months later, I ran into her at the grocery store. She smiled like nothing had ever happened. "How've you been, Jason?" she asked lightly. I looked her in the eye, calm now, stronger than before. For a second, something flickered across her face. Not regret exactly, but realization I wasn't the man she could laugh at and expect to stay. I walked away, leaving her between the aisles. And for the first time in months, I felt free. Because betrayal isn't only the act, it's how someone tends the wound after. Emma's affair didn't just break us. Her laughter did. Love can survive mistakes. It can even survive cheating. But it can't survive mockery, dismissal, or the absence of remorse. When she laughed and said, "It was just one night. You'll get over it?" she was wrong. I didn't get over it. I got out.